it's only a couple of weeks now until Shadowland is out.
Yeah.
It's very close, well, somewhat close. It was only 2 years ago that you released Feeding the Machine.
Yeah, see, nice.
Was the pandemic a factor in being able to release 2 albums pretty close together?
Yeah, it was actually.
Okay.
So it was kind of it was really bad for Feeding the Machine, but it was really good for Shadowland.
Yeah.
So it meant that we could focus only on writing and recording. So I had started writing actually before the tour. Then we went on tour for Feeding the Machine, but then the pandemic came, and we aborted the tour and went home. But so there was a couple of songs already, and then we just focused. Let's make a new record and just forget about everything else.
Yeah,
and it was good. It was really good.
Cool. I was lucky enough to see you on the Feeding Machine tour with Grand Magus.
Oh yeah.
So and the material from Feeding the Machine sounded amazing live, and listening to Shadowland it's like Feeding the Machine turned even further up, which is saying something.
Yeah.
It's got a really cool sort of vibe about this one. It's a little bit darker, I think. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
You're not the only one who have made that assessment, but personally, for me, I feel that Feeding the Machine was the darkest album I've ever recorded. But that's me personally, and I think this one is way more positive. I feel this album is so much more positive and more enjoyment, and I know that the themes can seem pretty dark and nihilistic, but I don't interpret them that way. And I don't know. It was just such a pure joy of writing songs with a new lineup and making music. This time I wasn't writing as a therapy for myself in the same way that I did with Feeding the Machine and digging up all kind of weird and dark things in the past that I needed to I needed it to come up to the surface so I can kind of cope with things of the past that have kind of tormented me, but this time it was quite the opposite. It was just pure joy of making metal music and writing songs, and also the new members brought in such a positive energy, and it's fantastic to write music and hear them do their thing, because it's even better than what I imagine in my head when I write.
Yeah, no, but the new out, it sounds amazing. The production is great. I think one of the reasons why people are saying this is maybe darker, even if you don't feel that way, is when you can sort of look at the lyrics to say dust, which is the chorus is somewhat it's almost depressing. We are dust. Yeah. But the music itself is so sort of driven and powerful, that it's not a depressing song.
No, I don't think so.
No, not at all. And obviously you've done videos for Dust, and there's a title track as well, Shadowland. Why were these songs chosen to represent the album before its release?
I just thought that Dust was, I wanted, like, when I wrote Dust, I immediately felt like this is the opening track, the traditional Wolf opening track. It's got a good tempo and good energy and catchy guitar stuff, and I love the lyrics as well. I just but it was like the song had that kind of the Wolves Are Back feeling to it.
Yeah.
So I thought it was great opening, and also great video material, and also first single, to show that we're at it again, and we're full of energy, and coming your way. That kind of feeling.
Absolutely, yeah. That's fantastic. As for the recording of the album itself, was this a relatively smooth process? Were you all able to get together pretty well, or did you have to record everything separately?
No, this was the easiest record I've ever made with Wolf, actually.
Wow.
Uh, every record I sort of burn out since the first record, and especially Feeding the Machine was a nightmare to record. It was terrible, was real terrible. But this was pretty amazing. We had pretty good demos to work from. So the pre-production is already there. The important element of the songs are there, you know. So I went up to rehearse with the other guys, but it ended up like just listening to Johan and Pontus rehearsing, you know, to the backtracks. And after a while, you know, Simon, he didn't know the songs, and I sort of, well, I should just skip this and just listen and, you know, get the bass and the drum parts, you know, the right way we wanted, you know, arrange everything, you know. So that was, I mean, I came fully prepared, but it ended up like they're so good musicians also. And so it's fun to hear them play and hear them make their thing on the songs.
Yeah.
So Simon and I, we were just listening and enjoying the bass and drums, and, you know, together, the four of us, we got the arrangement together. Then we went to the studio and recorded in Simon's studio the bass and the drums together live in you know, and they have been playing together for so many years before in different constellations in all sorts of bands. So they are so locked in together. It's an amazing rhythm section. It's not like a drummer and the bass player. They are so tight together. So I mean, I think they have been playing together for like 20, 30 years, you know, on and off.
Yeah.
So we got that, you know, a bit of a live energy to the whole rhythm section. And then after that, I recorded my rhythm guitars. I recorded all rhythm guitars except for the bonus tracks, because I made the pre-production and I know how I want, you know, the main guitars to be arranged, and I've, you know, came well prepared, well rehearsed. Simon has set up fantastic sound. I mean, usually it takes a day to set the guitar sound. This time, you know, I mic'd up, you know, this and this and this, and so we had used two different sounds, left and right, like two guitar, and I didn't want to change a thing. It was like perfect from the beginning. So Simon produced and Pontus as well. We, you know, it was so smooth. And after that, we took a break, and then I continued with, you know, vocals and extra guitars, and since Simon is producing everything, he got stuck with doing his things last of all. So but it's usually the way he works. Yeah. Every time. So I wasn't there when he recorded his guitars, but I mean, I have a studio as well. I recorded some of my, you know, not, you know, some of my extra guitars in my studio just to save time and for convenience, but the most of was recorded in Simon's studio together with the other guys. It's such a wonderful feeling to have, you know, we're a four-piece band, and we don't need to outsource much. We don't need other people coming in and poking at our, you know, our creation. So and we feel like we're a very solid unit. Yeah. Of course, we're musicians, so sometimes we have different opinions, but I mean, it worked out amazingly well. It's by far the easiest Wolf record I've ever made.
Wow. That's saying something after, you know, Wolf's been going for, since 95, 96, I think?
Yeah.
So
we made the first, started making demos in 95, and then we made the first record we recorded in 99. So we were very unexperienced. And I've learned a lot through because I've always been interested in production and recording.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot, and you learn a lot about about yourself when you record, especially when you're young and unexperienced. The first time I recorded the vocals in the beginning, we were kind of a trio. So I recorded all the guitars, all the vocals. So after the drums and bass were done, I did everything. And I didn't realize how exhausting it could be, especially tracking the vocals. So I was kind of burning out, and we had the producer was Peter Techtgren at the time. He had to explain to me, and to the other guys, because I was lying in the sofa and just wanted to die, that it is very, recording vocals, it's not like you're giving your whole soul all the time, and you want to make it, well, it's hard to describe, but it can be very exhausting, and things like that we didn't understand when we started. But
yeah,
now we have been at it for a while, so now it's easier.
Yeah. No, I think recording vocals, it can definitely make you feel very vulnerable and very open. So it's yeah. Obviously, this album isn't even out yet, but do you think going forward, that's the way you'll continue to record this way in the future, since everything went so smoothly?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We got some help in the mixing process by Pontus Norgren from Hammerfall.
Okay. Yeah.
Because we were running out of time, and he's a very, very good sound engineer and also a friend of the band. And he spends a lot of time, visiting Simon's studio. So we got a little bit of help from him to set he was really, really helpful in setting the main sound, the main mix. And it became so clear. You could really hear, especially when it was kind of raw and you just had bass, rhythm, guitars, and drums. It was amazing how you could hear every detail. And he had a big part in that, making that sound. But other than that, we have made everything ourselves, especially Simon and Pontus have been, working with the mixes and also doing the engineering. And that was fantastic for me, because Feeding the Machine, I was recording myself, and it was not very fun to be musician, producer, and technician all at once, especially when doing the vocals. It was I can do it, but it's not optimal. And now with the other guys in the band present, it was easier, and we got more positive energy and input from them all the time. So yeah, I think this is the way forward for us.
Excellent. And are you all living in the same sort of area, or are you still in Örebro?
I am still in Örebro here. So I travel to Stockholm for rehearsal, and the studio is also in Stockholm. Technically it's in a different city, but the two cities has grown together. So it's just rehearsal, and is 10-minute travel from the rehearsal to the studio. So I am doing a lot of travels, but I'm happy to do it. I go by car 2.5 hours to go to rehearsal or to record, but I'm really happy to do it because I just love working with the other guys, and I love the new lineup. It's fantastic.
Yeah. No, they're obviously excellent musicians, but like you said as well, just listening to the album, you can tell that Wolf is very much a unit, and very, as a unit is united in its goal, and it's created an awesome record. When did you finish recording the album?
We started almost a year ago. We started in Easter.
Okay.
We took some time off from our day jobs, and we spent all Easter doing the, tracking the bass and drums, and then the rhythm guitars, and then starting with the vocals. But then we couldn't take so much time off from our day jobs, so we took it from there, like recorded in the weekends, and finding ways. So we took a small break in the summer because we needed some vacation, especially the producer Simon, and then we continued in the fall, recording the last parts. So I don't remember really but it was very like we started mixing even before everything was recorded. So Simon had still his guitars, a lot of his guitars left, and also some of my lead guitars as well. But so we were working, until the mix was done. I think it was November or something like that.
Wow, that's fantastic that you started Easter and went to November or thereabouts.
Yeah,
and that excitement never seemed to wane. It seemed to have that energy for months. That's incredible, really.
Yeah, it was actually because we recorded the main parts, the drums, the rhythm guitars, the bass, and then you go home and then you get a raw mix from the producer Simon, and wow, this is all cool. Everything, it was feeling new. Every moment was feeling like, wow, this is new and exciting again. So that's why I think that had a part of that's maybe the reason we managed to keep the energy towards the end of the album.
Excellent. As for the title of the album itself, Shadowland, obviously there's a title track as well. Why was Shadowland chosen as the title of the album?
It was mainly because first I thought that Shadowland could be a good title for the album, just good title, and it kind of brought together a lot of the themes on the album.
Yeah.
And then I didn't think about it more, and then Pontus suggested it. So I had a kind of a big hard think again, because I was putting it Shadowland in the search engine, because if you got a idea that you think is pretty good, then you can count on that 10 people before you had exactly the same idea. So of course there were things called Shadowland. I think there was a TV series or some other stuff. That's why I was hesitating a bit. But then when Pontus said it's a good title, and I couldn't think of any better title, and it's a good title track. We had opening track was a up-tempo energy traditional Wolf fast song, and Shadowland was more of an mysterious and epic song. So it was a nice title. And then when we saw the artwork, it was like there's no turning back. This artwork, it was just perfect for Shadowland as a title. So that was it. I don't care if there are 10 TV series or 55 books or movies called Shadowland. When we saw the artwork, this is it. It feels right.
Absolutely, yeah. And the artwork is great. It's very vibrant. It's a lot brighter than you would expect an album called Shadowland to be.
Yeah.
Who was the artist that did this work?
It's Thomas Holm. He did Don't Break the Oath and Melissa for Merciful Fate, and I did a lot of the early King Diamond albums.
Yeah.
And then he started to doing Wolf. So the first album he did for us was the Black Wings.
Okay.
And then he did the Black Flame, and then Ravenous, Legions of Bastard, and from then on we have been wanting to use him. It feels like he is our Derek Riggs, if you know what I mean. We want to have some continuum, and also he really understands our music, and he says he sees metal in pictures. And the way I write songs is usually to cope with things going on in the world and things going on in my life, and I need to cope with it how, and the way I do it is to write songs, and he does exactly the same with his oil paintings. And usually we usually there's a sort of a connection. I maybe haven't, sometimes I haven't been speaking to him for years, and then we connect again and start speaking, and we find that through our life journey we have experienced similar stuff, and he has painted his oil painting, and I have been writing my music, and usually there is already a painting. This was a painting that he had already done, and he sent us a suggestion, and that was it. There was no meaning to try to get something else. It felt right.
Yeah, no, it fits the music really well, and also, when you say he's done like classic artwork for Merciful Fate and bands like that, then it's wonderful to have someone like that on board, and especially for so long. So once this album is out, it comes out on April 1st, I think. What's the plan then? Do you have live dates booked or any festival appearances?
Yeah, we had 2 tours booked, but they both were canceled due to the COVID thing.
Yeah.
So now we have new plans with our new booking agency, and the plan now is to go in the fall to make some mini tours. So we do a mini tour in the UK area, and then a couple of weeks later we head down to Europe, and different parts of Europe, to try to cover things and do it very well in a small package, and very convenient, and very try to make it as cheap as possible, but we've been working on ideas to make every show have a great impact, but it should be like a smooth thing.
Yeah.
So that's the plan now, and nothing is settled yet, but there are dates, and I'm 100% sure that we will, it will be settled, and we can do them. But it's been very difficult since the COVID, and everything is lagging 2 years behind. So we have no festivals booked. So we're going to be ready and rehearsed. If there is an opening, we will be ready, and we have rehearsed like hell, and have every technical aspects all already taken care of. So it's just fly there and do the festival. That's the plan. But we can't. We need to. We are looking to book things, because we can't rely on there being cancellations and opening on festivals. So we're working to get to play live again, because that's what we need now. That's what we want now. And we had actually one show in Stockholm 2 weeks ago, and it was really successful, and it was amazing to see the audience again and play. We've done one of those live streams, but it was interesting, but very weird to play into an empty room and just with cameras. The production was great and everything, but it's not the same thing. It's not, I don't see any future in that, to be honest. It's good that you can do it, but it's not the same. I mean, meeting people in the flesh, that's the thing. We are humans. We are social animals. We need to meet, and we need to celebrate music and metal, and get together. And that the live show we did in Stockholm, it was like, wow, this is what we all have been missing now, the bands and the audience. We really needed it, and especially in difficult times like this, I think we need to have some let go, some outlet for the aggression, and also get some positive energy back. So
absolutely, yeah. And like I said, I've seen you a couple of times now, and it's always a really, really good show. So I really hope that you're able to make these mini tours that you've got scheduled, and I hope more openings come up for you as well. Because honestly, anybody watching this, if you've not seen Wolf before, you have to see Wolf. Wolf is so good life. It's just,
well, thank you.
no problem. Well, Niklas, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me this evening. I really do appreciate it, mate. And best of luck with the album. And as I said, hopefully the tours will go ahead as well. And I hope this is a very, very successful album for you.
Oh, thank you very much. And thanks for having us.
No problem. Tack så mycket.
Awesome. All right. Have a great evening.